Good morning. Okay. So today we're talking about whether or not you're undercharging and how to rewire yourself and your business for wealth so that you can have a charge your worth and a money breakthrough essentially. Say hi to me. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm Ilsa. And this is about me really believing that good people like you should make a good living so that you can continue to do more good work, essentially. So I'm a licensed psychotherapist in private practice for over 15 years. I'm a total spiritual nerd. And I'm an expansion expert and business strategist for soulful entrepreneurs and transformational leaders, essentially. I marry really simple business strategies with nervous system expansion and recoding work so that you can be rewired, your business can be rewired for easeful client attraction, for increased visibility, for high ticket sales, and for wealth. By the way, if you stay until the end, I've got a really special brand new offer that I put together around high ticket sales and rewiring your nervous system for high ticket sales. And for Black Friday, I'm offering it at $1,000 off. This is a one-on-one offer, and you basically will never work with me one-on-one for that price. So if you're interested in that, just stay to the end or put Make It Rain. Make It Rain is the name of the offer in the comments. Okay, let's get started. So I'm going to give you like 8 different things to look at for you to know whether or not you are undercharging yourself, your offers are underpriced, and you're essentially setting yourself up for, I don't know if I would say failure automatically, but at the very least, you're setting yourself up for a lot of frustration and having to work a lot more than you actually need to. So the first one is you know you're underpriced when you're doing a whole lot with little to show for it at the end. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is the fact that undercharging is relative. So I'm thinking of this client I had. I'm going to call her C because I actually didn't ask her if I could use her name. But my client C, when she came to talk to me, we looked at her business, we looked at her offer, and actually her offer were like, I don't know, like my camera's a little twisted. Her offer was like 5 figures. So I looked at it and I was like, oh, that seems fine. That's a really good amount. Except when I started digging and we started looking at things between what she was offering, between the support staff that she was hiring to really serve her people and give them the best transformation she could give them. Like, really, there wasn't anything left at the end for her. Like, let alone, like, not only could she barely pay herself, but she really didn't have any extra money to invest in her business or to grow in any kind of way that would feel really good to her. So it was clear that for me, even though it felt like a pretty substantial offer, it was underpriced because there was nothing left for her. So you know that this is you if you're doing a whole lot of work, either with your clients or in your business, and at the end, you don't have a whole lot to show for it, and you feel pretty frustrated and dejected. So what do you do? If this is you, you have 2 options here. You need to either raise your rates or you need to create a new higher end offer that you can focus on selling over the less expensive offers, and that will offset what's going on. In the end, running your business has to feel good, and it's got to make financial sense, or you will feel like it's too hard, too painful, you'll work too hard for not enough, and your nervous system will start contracting, which will lead to you sabotaging your effort, your growth, and the movement in your business. So that's number one. Number two, you know you're underpriced when you feel resentment whenever a client wants more support. By the way, that was very much me. I want to help everyone and I want to give as much as I can give. So if this is you, like when a client needs more support or is reaching out to you, you feel resentment because it feels like it's too much work for what they paid, then you have two options again. You either need to raise your rates so that whatever price you're charging, you feel good giving them that extra support, or you need to set some really strong boundaries at your lower priced offers so that people understand that at this level of support, they're not getting all the extra intimate hand holding touch that maybe your higher end offers have. I had to do both. I had to set some really strong boundaries with my lower cost, and then I had to actually create a different offer that was more money where I could offer that so that I felt good about that. So there's two programming that are lodged in your nervous system around that, two wounds, two blocks that come up around this undercharging pattern. The first one is something that says to be worthy, we need to serve and be available for everyone. Essentially, it's not safe to say no. It's not safe to not be of service. Here you have a little bit of the savior archetype. You have a little bit of the people pleaser archetype that shows up in that. The other block, the other nervous system block that shows up in this particular instance is something in us that says that everyone's going to want a piece of us, and success always comes at a big cost to our freedom and a big sacrifice of our energy. This one is so, so common, and it is one that absolutely needs to be expanded and recoded because essentially what that's going to do is you're going to block client attraction. If you think about it, it's actually pretty logical. If something in you feels like the more clients I get, the less freedom I will have, the less ease I will have, then something in you is going to say, I don't want any more clients. So you've got part of you who wants more client and part of you who's blocking that because having more client essentially means more stress, less freedom, less ease, less joy, less delight in your own life. So when we see the resentment, when we see the overwhelm come up, we know that we need to recode our nervous system so that we can feel safe, setting stronger boundaries and leaving our savior cape at home, essentially. And we know that we need to raise our rates so that success doesn't feel like a sacrifice. So the way I want you to look at this is I want you to imagine your most demanding client. And I want you to ask yourself, at what price would you be happy serving this individual? At what price would you be happy going the extra mile? At what price would you not feel frustrated or taken advantage of? At what price would it feel nourishing to you to actually serve at that level? And that's your price. It shouldn't be any less than that. And by the way, if you can't come up with a price, then it's a non-negotiable no. I once had a client who reached out, she kind of like off the cuff asked me, if I have a question, can I like reach out real quick to you and ask you a question? And in my desire to serve, I didn't set a strong boundary. And I said, absolutely. If once in a while you got a question, feel free to like pop it in and reach out to me. Well, this person started asking me to like read entire pages of copy and change things for her. And then one day she actually messaged me like over 25 times in like, I don't know, a long weekend or something like that. And I remember feeling so overwhelmed from seeing her emails pop up when I was checking my email throughout the weekends that I realized this was a no for me. Like there was no price that this person could pay me that I would be willing to have that kind of drain on my energy. So that is something you have to figure out for yourself, because for your nervous system to allow you to receive abundantly, business has to feel good. It has to feel nourishing. It has to feel energizing rather than draining. So you have to set up your business in a way that's going to do that for you. The other thing I want you to consider with this one is if you think that by charging less, people will expect less and will not need as much from you. That is false. I actually found that the opposite is true in my practice. On average, people who pay more, this is generalization obviously, but on average, people who pay more actually respect people's time more. They're busier. They understand the value of time. They understand boundaries because they have to set boundaries in their own lives. And they will honor your own boundaries a lot more than people who pay less. I've actually had people literally expect me to bend over backward for something that was either free or very, very low cost. So, you have to have clear boundaries for your lower cost offers. And I definitely recommend that you create what I call a quantum leap offer that is priced at a much higher level, where you can really offer the level of transformation and the level of support that your premium higher end clients are going to want, and maybe even the level of support and the level of transformation that you want to offer to your client that would feel really good inside you. So that's the last little bit. It's got to feel safe. It's got to feel good in your body. It's got to feel nourishing and delightful to you, or your nervous system will sabotage your progress. So that was 2. Number 3, you're underpriced when you compare yourself to others and you price based on them. There's a number of little things going on here, but when we do that, we don't take into consideration our unique genius. We don't take into consideration our lives, our expertise, and our one-of-a-kind transformation into consideration. By comparing and copying ourselves to others, we're literally like diminishing our own worth. And that comes from usually 2 wounds and blocks in the nervous system. The first one is a block that says it's not safe to be me. I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, I'm not enough exactly as I am. And so because we feel that way, we're looking to other people to give us the way and to give us something that we might be able to use to feel either better about ourselves or to include in our offer. The second block that comes up around that is self-trust. Like there's something in our nervous system that says we don't have our own back, we can't trust our own judgments, and it's not safe to trust ourselves, to trust our own unique magic, our own unique way to serve and to succeed. So we're comparing, we're copying, or second guessing ourselves, and we're using others as a crutch rather than really going all in us. And this is where the magic really happens. When you recode your nervous system to really feel anchored in your seat. I am all that I am. And it is absolutely safe for me to be me. And I have more than enough to serve whoever is going to show up in front of me. I don't need anything more than the brilliance that is me. When you recode your nervous system for that, and you recode your nervous system to be able to trust your own judgment, to trust your own guidance, to trust your own instinct and your own magic and your own brilliance, and not need to go outside to get the path forward, then that's when our genius really starts to be revealed. Now, I will tell you one thing. I think checking the competition can be really valuable, but not to compare prices. I think checking the competition is valuable when you're looking for what's missing in the marketplace. What's missing in their offer? What are they not talking about? What are they not addressing that they need to? What are they not including in their offer that's going to hold their people back? This is essentially going to allow you to differentiate yourself. So this is never about copying. It's actually about finding out, how are you different? How are you better than people in your industry? Hey, Sharon. So you want to look for what's missing in the marketplace when you're looking at other people. You don't want to look to compare yourself or compare your prices. And that touches into what I call your golden thread. If you followed me at all, I mentioned a golden thread a lot. That's something I work with my clients. a ton. And it's all around the messaging. It's all around figuring out your unique positioning, your unique philosophical underpinning and philosophical ideation that essentially sets you apart, and positions you as a unique voice of expertise in your field. When you have your golden thread and you are able to show people what's missing that other experts in your field are not talking about, are not offering, are not doing with them. And you get to explain to them why it is that they're still struggling, why it is that they're still haven't had the full transformation they want. You become a thought leader in your field. And at this point, asking to be paid more becomes so much easier than where you're at now, because you're really sitting in your brilliance, you're really sitting in your uniqueness, you're really sitting in the amount of transformation that you can provide for people. So it's something that happens internally where you start realizing that you don't need to compare yourself. You are wholly unique, one without a second, and your work is wholly unique. And it's something that happens out there because people start seeing how you're the missing link, how you're offering something that no one else offers, and then they're much more willing to pay you very well for your work. So when you expand and recode your nervous system to truly claim that you have exactly what you need already within you to transform lives and to thrive, and that you can trust yourself and you can trust your unique gifts, then asking for higher prices becomes normalized. And what felt hard, what felt impossible in terms of what you could make and what you could ask for, becomes really easeful and almost inevitable. Okay. So that was number 3. Number 3 is all about becoming that sovereign leader and that thought leader in your industry. Number 4, you know you're underpriced when you don't see an easy, doable pathway to making what you want to make, or you're charging what you charge currently. So for example, if you know you want to make $200,000 a year and you're now making half of that, but you can't imagine having to work twice as hard or having to bring in twice as many clients, you don't even know how you would bring in twice as many clients, that lets me know that your prices are too low, because you would literally have to either kill yourself or you would have to totally change your entire business model to be able to make the money that you want to make. When our prices are too low and you're trying to reach a goal and you don't see a pathway towards that, that's a really big setup for absolute disappointment and burnout. So when you don't see a possible pathway to the money you want to make based on where you're at and what you're charging right now, you've got to do a couple things. The first one is, again, you've got to recode your nervous system so that the way is revealed. A lot of time, you know that statement by Einstein, you can't solve a problem by the level of thinking that created it? Like literally, the pathway to more does not come from here. It comes from something deep in our body. It comes from our heart. It comes from our soul. It comes from a higher level of genius that becomes available when your nervous system is no longer contracted in fear and in lack, but is expanded essentially in infinite possibilities. So that's the first thing, is you want to recode your nervous system to be in expansion. So the path forward becomes revealed and it becomes clear. And then the second thing you want to do is you want to recode your nervous system so that raising your rates and reaching your goals doesn't require you to sacrifice your health or your happiness. You essentially want to recode your nervous system so that charging more and making the money you want to make feels easeful, feels delightful, is filled with spaciousness. That is something most of us are wired with a belief, a wound, a code within us that says that success is hard and success comes with sacrifice. And we have to shift that, or we will prove ourselves right. In the end, as I said to you, your business has to feel good. If you don't love it, if success would require too much of you, then it's not really success, and your nervous system will sabotage your efforts anyways because it's trying to keep you in a place of comfort. Number 5, you know you're underpriced when you're afraid that if you raise your prices, you'll be judged, you'll be criticized, you'll be seen as greedy or not authentic or genuine. I can relate to that a whole lot. I think it's the psychotherapist in me, the social work background. I really want to help as many people as I can, and I want to be seen as someone who is really about helping people, not only about making money. Yeah, Sharon says believing in ourselves and being confident is our unique gifts is key to calling in more money. Absolutely. You literally cannot call in more money. You can't allow yourself to receive it. It's not even that you can't call in more money. You literally can't receive it because you don't believe that you're worthy of receiving it. So really believing in yourself and believing in the power of your work is fundamental, and rewiring your system, your nervous system, so that you allow yourself to believe in yourself, so that you allow yourself to know and feel and embody that your work is powerful. Because a lot of us soulful entrepreneurs have this thing where it's like, oh, if we really believed in ourselves, if we really saw the absolute amazingness of our work and what we're capable, that's hubris, that's arrogance. We don't want to do that. So really rewiring your nervous system so that you can really take your seat as that leader without shame, without guilt, without hiding out, without playing small. So yeah, you know you're underpriced when you are afraid that if you raise your prices, you're essentially going to be judged, you're going to call negative attention, you're going to be criticized or seen as a bad person in some ways. So here's what I want to say about that. This is a really ancient fear that is locked in our nervous system. There is something, some people might say it's even related to the witch's wound or to what I call the expansion block. Something that says that if we stick out too much, if we ask too much, people are going to turn against us. They're going to, we call it the tall poppy syndrome, where it's the tallest flower that always gets cuts down. If we dare to be too big, we are going to be harmed in some ways. We're going to bring negative attention. So there's something in you that says that everyone has to like you for you to be safe. That being you, that doing it your way, that really asking more than what you're asking now is way too bold and it's way too dangerous. And that's the thing we have to recode in our nervous system. You want to recode that so that you can really show up as yourself, so that you can feel safe to shine, so that you can feel safe to ask what you want, what you desire without fear. When these old codes, these old wounds run the show in the shadows, you're not choosing your prices based on love, based on expansion, based on or from a place of honoring and empowering both your own soul, your clients, and your bank account. But you're actually choosing your prices from a place of fear and disempowerment, from a place of contraction. And any decision you make that comes from the seed of contraction, that comes from the seed of lack, from the seed of fear, from the seed of being disempowered, will beget and lead to more fear and to more disempowerment, to more contraction. So it's really important that we start shifting that, we start choosing what we do in our business, what we charge in our business, from a real place of expansion, from a real place of feeling safe being here and feeling safe being ourselves. And that happens deep within the body, in the nervous system. It doesn't happen just up here. You can know that, you can think that, you can do affirmations, but if something in your body is contracted, if your nervous system feels like it's dangerous for you to step out, it's dangerous for you to ask or want or desire what you want, then you will not be able to do it. So that was number 5. Number 6, you know you're underpriced when you want to help everyone. Again, very much like me, because you're afraid that if you raise your rates, you're going to exclude someone. And you don't want to exclude anyone. You're here to serve, you're here to heal the world. So I hope that I don't trigger you in what I'm going to say right now. This is something I had to work with. People who have that block, oftentimes there's a wound in the nervous system, there's a knot in the nervous system around not trusting life. And here's how I'm getting there. The truth is, you're not meant to serve everyone. You're meant to serve who you're meant to serve. So if you can't serve someone in a way that feels really good to you, that feels an honoring of your work and honoring of your life, then trust that someone else is supposed to take care of that person. You don't have to bend over backward. You don't have to create a special offer for them. You don't have to give them a major discount. When you really take your seat in who you are, what you want to charge, who you want to support, and you let that be okay in your system, there's no shame around it, there's no guilt around it, there's no fear around it. You're basically saying, I trust you, life. I trust that everyone's going to be taken care of, just like I'm taken care of. I let that person go to you. 2 things will happen. Either that person will raise, like they will expand because they really want to work with you, and they will become resourceful, and they will literally find a way to afford your rates. And then they will really show up from a place of empowerment and from a place of commitment. The other thing that will happen when you really trust life and you don't assume that you're expected to help everyone is, if they can't really afford you, they will go and find the exact right person they were meant to work with, at least at this point in their life. They might come back at a different point later. Yeah, that scarcity model where, the truth is we can't. Sharon's exactly where we can't or we shouldn't work with everyone, but there's something in us that says, especially as a soulful entrepreneur, especially as a transformational leader, that we should. That our big work is about helping everyone. And that is something that's going to really limit you. That is an old wound that needs to be recoded. So that's number 6. Number 7, you know you're underpriced when you're deciding that people won't or can't pay this much for your work, and that those who can are not around you. So you're essentially deciding that people don't have money right now, that people can't afford more than what you're already charging, that people won't pay this much for the kind of work that you do, or that if there are people who would, you don't know where they're hiding, they're not around you at all, you don't have access to them. This is a tricky one because oftentimes it feels true because it's been our experience. But what we don't realize is that this has been our experience because it's how our nervous system is calibrated. And what you believe essentially starts to ripple into what you experience in life. Like that's literally, it happens first in the nervous system. We get calibrated to a certain amount of money, a certain kind of person. Then it shows up as a belief system, and that belief system literally like directs the brain as to what it's going to be able to see, receive, experience, create. So what you want to do in terms of the nervous system with this one is you actually want to start calibrating your nervous system, recoding your nervous system, that to say that there's more than enough, and there's more than enough people right around you who want what you have to offer and will pay really good money for it. And the reason you want to do this as quickly as possible, because literally when your nervous system says people won't pay for people won't pay me what I want, and I don't have access to people who will pay me, your nervous system is literally resonating, vibrating at that frequency, and you will only attract people who are in alignment with that. Literally, you are invisible to people who could afford you at a higher price, and they're invisible to you. They could be all around you, you just do not see them, and they do not see you. When your nervous system is calibrated for that kind of experience and you decide and expect that, that's what you get. So in the nervous system, we have to normalize that what we want to ask is not that much money. That there's people who ask 5, 10 times what we ask. It's not that much money. And we want to normalize in our nervous system that there's plenty of people who can afford that and would happily pay that, and they're all around us. Because that is the truth. I actually know 5 people in my environment who have paid $1 million to someone to work with them. Actually, they paid $1 million to my coach to work with her. $1 million. Like, I can't contemplate it. That's because my nervous system is not calibrated for that level. I would have to do work to calibrate for that level. Like, I can barely understand people who pay $100K to work with someone, but there's tons of people who pay $100,000 to work with someone. I can't quite conceive of it. I've never done it. I would need to essentially expand my nervous system and calibrate myself for the fact that that's possible and that's normal and it's not that much money. I will also tell you that I remember very well a time where spending $2,000 to work with someone seemed outrageous. Like, I sweated, like, signing towards that program. And now $2,000 feels like nothing. So we expand, and we get to expand our nervous system over time, not only in terms of what we get to spend, but what is a whole lot of money so that we can receive that with ease. Pricing, like when you set your pricing around what you think people can afford, it's never about people. It's always about you. It's always about your own limiting beliefs. It's always about your own contractions in your nervous system. It's always about your relationship to money, your scarcity, your lack, your own insecurities. How do I know? Because there are people who do exactly what you do, or something similar, probably something not as good as you do, and who charge twice, 5 times, 10 times, sometimes 100 times what you charge. And again, you have to remember, it's like number 5. When you make a decision, when you decide on your price from a place of scarcity, from a place of lack, from a place of insecurity, that's the seed, that's the contraction. You cannot create expansion from contraction. You cannot create abundance from a choice or decision that was made in scarcity, in lack, in insecurity. All right, number 8, last one. You know you're underpriced when you don't have enough clients. So this one's a little bit counterintuitive. There's a couple things here. One, it's natural when we're not fully booked, when our programs are not closing completely or selling out, for us to want to lower our price. It's something in this culture that says that if you're cheaper, more people will be interested. Unfortunately, one, that's actually not true. I know people who have kept lowering their price and they didn't get any more clients at a lower price. 2, when you do that, you're literally setting yourself up for stress and burnout, because now to make the same amount of money, you've got to bring in a whole lot more people. And 3, you're going to attract the wrong kind of people. So you're going to work a whole lot harder to make the same amount of money, and you're going to work with people who maybe are not the highest, best clients for you to work with. So you're putting a lot of pressure on you. That little bit that I want to bring about, that second piece, is when you underprice yourself, you will literally turn off truly committed buyers. You will turn off people who really want what you have. They will look at your price and they will think either something's wrong with the offer, or something's wrong with the person offering the offer in terms of their confidence, what they believe they're worth, their value, their worth, all of that. Premium buyers, people who don't mind paying more, are going to be really committed to the transformation. They're going to be committed to doing the work. Yeah, absolutely. It always attracts the wrong clients. Absolutely. So when your price is too low, you're attracting non-committal clients. You're attracting people who like your price, but they want an easy fix. They don't want to have to do work. They don't want to really truly invest in the transformation. So if they pay, you attracted the wrong person. If they're not really believing in their own value and in the potential for transformation, they might actually not even buy, even at that lower price. So here's what I would recommend. When you don't have enough clients, forget the low priced offer. You want to create something amazing. You want to create something you're absolutely in love with, something that for you really will bring people to a full transformation, something you truly believe in. And you want to ask a really decent amount of money for that. You want to ask something you feel a little stretched, but really good. Again, business has to feel good in your body. If I offer something and I don't want to offer it, or if I offer it, I think it's great, but now I feel resentful because I don't think it's not gonna bring me what I want for the amount of effort, the amount of juiciness that's in there, then I'm gonna sabotage the growth of that. So if you don't have enough clients, usually that's two things: is either you're underpriced, or maybe you're not offering your highest level work, and or you're offering something that's out of alignment with who you are and where you're at in your life. So something's actually blocking your ability to attract clients. So that's what I would recommend: is you focus, you create one really amazing offer that is mid to higher level pricing, and you really focus on that. You focus all your content, all your marketing on that offer and on speaking to the exact right client for that offer. That was something that my coach said to me. At the time, I was charging $2,500 for my offer. And she said to me, she's like, Ilsa, I want you to think of your offer as a $10,000 offer. If it was $10,000, I want you to only speak to people who could afford $10,000 and would happily pay $10,000 for your offer. And she said to me, she's like, you don't believe your offer is worth 10 grand right now. That's okay. You'll grow into that. But I know people who offer things not as good as what you just described, who charge $25,000, $35,000, $50,000. So I'm just meeting you in a small little pocket here. We're going to say your offer is 10 grand. And I only want you to talk to people who would pay $10,000. I want you to look at your posts. I want you to look at what you're talking about. Are you talking to people who would be highly committed to get to this transformation and would be resourceful in terms of coming up with the money to be able to work with you? And that was actually really helpful for me. And once in a while, it's something I do again. I'm like, okay, let's look at my content. Am I talking to people who are struggling and don't want to invest, or am I talking to people who are ready for that next level in their business? So you want to create that something amazing, you want to price it, and you want to focus on that until you literally have sold it out or you have a wait list. So there's two things you're going to rewire in your nervous system with this. You're going to rewire there's more than enough. Like, you want to code your nervous system for abundance. There's more than enough. There's more than enough money. There's more than enough clients. There's more than enough. Most of us come from a mentality of lack. Most of us have had parents or grandparents who struggled through the recession, who struggled through wars, and literally raised us around there's not enough. And that's coded inside us. And it literally insidiously defines everything we do and how we show up. So we want to recode ourselves for there's more than enough. And we want to also recode ourselves and calibrate our nervous system for attracting premium clients. Working with them is easy, it's easeful, it's joyful, it's delightful. Attracting premium clients and working with them is a delight, and it's easeful. Because most of us also have that wound, that block that says premium clients will expect more. They're hard to work with. They're not a lot of them around. And we want to recode our nervous system to see that that's bullshit. And we're going to want to normalize that premium clients are everywhere, and they're a joy to attract, and they're a joy to work with, and it all gets to be easy. And you want to really get that deep in the nervous system, because then it will percolate up into your thoughts, into the way you think, into your belief system, and then it will start changing how you see the world, how you show up in the world, and who you attract in the world. So before I share with you my super exciting Black Friday offer that I just created, I'm going to do a 1-minute recap for anyone who kind of missed the beginning. So signs that you are underpriced. Number one, you're doing a whole lot with very little to show for it in the end. There's not much left over at the end of the month. Number two, you feel resentful whenever a client wants more from you, wants more support, wants more guidance. You're underpriced if that happens. Number three, you're comparing yourself to others and you're pricing your offer based on them rather than based on your unique genius. More than likely, you are underpriced. Number four, you don't see an easy or doable path forward to making what you want to make in a year, essentially charging what you're currently charging. If you can't see how you're going to achieve your goals based on where you're at now, you're undercharging. Number five, you're afraid that if you raise your fees, you're going to be judged, you're going to be criticized, you're going to be seen as greedy or not authentic or genuine in your desire to serve and transform people's lives. That fear, that scarcity, that fear that you're going to bring negative attention, I guarantee you it's keeping you from not charging what you should in your business. Number six, you want to help everyone. You don't want to exclude anyone. So you're setting up your business, your model, and your fee structure in a way that almost everyone would be able to afford it. I guarantee you, you're not charging what you should be charging. And the truth is there's always going to be someone who can't afford you. When I was charging $50 an hour, I had people who could not afford me. It doesn't matter what you're charging. It doesn't matter unless you make it free. There's always going to be somebody who can't afford you. And number eight, actually, that was number six. Number seven is you're deciding. You're deciding for them. You're deciding what people won't or can't pay for what you offer. And you're making the decision that people who can pay are few and far between and they're not around you. So you're deciding that people will not pay what you want for what you offer. Like I see a lot of people will say to me, because I work with a lot of healers, they'll say people will not pay high ticket for healing work. That's bullshit. I know people who are healers and charge like 25 grand for their work. So don't decide what people will pay or not pay and what people can or cannot pay, and do not decide that even if people who will pay high ticket for what you offer exist, they're not around you, because all of that will literally define the experience you have in your business. And then number eight was you're underpriced when you don't have enough clients, so you keep lowering your price to get more rather than actually raising your price and creating something amazing and focusing on a higher end client. I want to check. Yeah, we all get trapped. Thank you, Sharon, saying that what I give is amazing. We all get trapped in the thinking that we have to work harder to make more money. And really, it's about working smarter, and it's about working from a different place. It's really not about how much you work. It's about who you're being when you're doing and what kind of results that difference in being is going to create. So here's what I want to leave you with, that I want you to really take with you. There are people all around you who want what you have to offer, who need what you have to offer, and who need that unique twist that is only you. And they'll pay good money for it. But you literally have to do two things. You have to create the best offer possible, and you have to charge appropriately for it. of course. And then you have to do the nervous system recoding work so that you're calibrated and you're in resonance with not only the amount of money you want to make, but you're also calibrated and in resonance with the kind of people you want to attract who will pay at that level, who will commit at that level. Business needs to feel good. So make sure that your offer feels amazing to you, and make sure that what you're charging really sets you up to feel delighted to serve your people. Joy, you want your offer, your business needs to bring joy, delight, and a sense of pride to you, and it needs to nourish you. Like the way you do business and what you make needs to nourish both your soul and your bank account. It has to do both, or you will sabotage your growth, or your nervous system will literally get into contraction and you will say no. And then it will feel like you've got this shield and nothing can come in. No clients can come in, no money can come in. The kind of clients that come in are the wrong kind of clients. Like everything will feel hard. It's not that things are hard, is that we have built something hard in our nervous system that needs to be thought out, that needs to be recoded, that needs to be expanded, that needs to be nurtured, made whole within us so that we can have a different experience of life. Okay, so now here's my CTA. I created this. It's taken me a little while, but I created this brand new offer. If you're ready to grow your business and your wealth, and you want to have a charge your worth, although I hate that because your worth is limitless, but a charge more than enough breakthrough without stressing, without second guessing, without pushing, without sabotaging yourself, then I created a special offer. I called it Make It Rain. I'm calling it Make It Rain in 2023 since it's the end of the year. And Make It Rain, rewire your business and your nervous system for high ticket sales. Charging high ticket is hard for us in our bodies. It's something I bump up against all the time. In this offer, so first of all, it's $1,000 off for the first, as my Black Friday. I'm taking $1,000 off of this offer, and it's for the first 3 people. First come, first serve. After that, the price will start going up. It's a one-on-one VIP intensive where we're going to spend over 4 hours together over 2 different meetings, because I think sometimes doing 4.5 hours in one sitting is too much for people. So we're going to have one deep dive originally where we're going to essentially design your life-changing and lucrative high-ticket quantum leap offer. And then we're going to literally rewire you. We're going to recode your nervous system so that you can get behind that price that you want to charge, so that you can sell it consistently, you can sell it with confidence, and you can allow yourself to receive abundantly. That's all in the nervous system. Being able to really stand tall in your price, to feel confident, to sell it consistently, and to allow yourself to receive being paid this much is all in the nervous system. And then a couple weeks later, we'll do another shorter session where you and I essentially get together to finalize everything, to maybe finalize your aligned marketing plan and answer any questions you have. So it's literally between 4 and 5 hours of time with me. As a bonus, you're also going to receive, I created a 5-module mini course for my current clients around activating radical trust in your business so that you can effortlessly create and receive the results you desire fast. So that's a 5 module bonus that you'll get. It includes a lesson and it includes a journey for each level of trust. The value of this offer, what I will charge for this offer, is $1,555. I'm taking $1,000 off for the first 3 people, so that's $555 for that one-on-one intensive VIP. You will never work with me one-on-one at that price again. Like even clients who have worked with me for a long time pay more than that to work with me one-on-one. especially for this amount of time, this amount of support. So if you're interested in that, it is first come, first serve. There's only 3 spots. Just put make it rain in the comment or DM me, and then I will send you the link, or I'll answer any question you have if you're not sure if this is for you. I'm happy to answer any question you have. By the way, I haven't announced it yet. So now's essentially, that's the first time I'm announcing it. I'm going to start sharing it with my email list and doing all of that stuff. I hope this today was helpful. Thank you, Sharon, for being here. Thank you, Karen, for being here. And have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend, and I will talk to you later. Sharon say, woohoo, congrats. Yeah, I'm kind of excited about this offer. This is like kind of direct. I mean, obviously, I work with the nervous system in all sorts of ways, but like really recalibrating ourselves for high ticket sales and designing an offer that is a high ticket offer is something I haven't done before outside of with over long term with clients, and being able to do that in a quick way feels really exciting and really fun to me. All right, have a wonderful week and weekend, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.